When you get an e-bike kit for a Hollowtech2 Bottom Bracket bike, a bike with Hollowtech2 Bottom Bracket, the pedal assist sensor, which is here, normally you put them on the other side, but there's no space in Hollowtech, as you can see both sides, so you're told to buy one that goes on the drivetrain side. So this is Shimano Hollowtech2 Bottom Bracket, but what I found is it's far too close and it's rubbing. It's been a total nightmare the whole time, and I'll tell you more at the end, but for now I think I might have found a solution for me. Bottom bracket spacers. These ones are called for Truvative or something it says, but it says it will fit Shimano as well, although it didn't say Hollowtech, so I hope it does fit. So it's not this side really, I'm fitting it in here. I'm not sure whether I'll need to fit both, you know, so that it's equal, because I might get the chain line out of sync with the derailleur, I don't know, it's a nightmare. Anyway, welcome to my video of me fitting bottom bracket spacers for a Hollowtech2. These are 2.5mm, that's a pretty standard size. Apparently mountain bikes use these a lot, but not really road bikes from what I've read. I mean, I bought this derailleur to fit the sensor, and it didn't have any spacers in it. People say that when you buy mountain bike derailleurs for Shimano Hollowtech2, they'll probably have spacers with them. Thanks to the person who commented on a previous video and told me about this, because I think it'll be the answer for me. If you've got Hollowtech2 and you're putting an e-bike kit on, I would say don't, because you've got to put the sensor on that side, and you've also got to put a ring on your derailleur, and the ring's very small. Usually it'll only fit about 22 derailleurs, you know, that tiny size. I had to buy this derailleur even just to get that ring on. It's a really small diameter, I'll tell you at the end. So I had to buy that, and then I found that my pedal assist sensor was still too close anyway, so I had to hammer that away. I've got it now, but it's rubbing, so I mean, it's going to wear away. Hopefully the spacer will be my answer. If you're in this situation, what I would say is either put a square taper bottom bracket on, you know, swap it, take the Hollowtech2 out, put a square taper in, or just buy a bike with a square taper, because it's just so much hassle. You'll probably need to buy a derailleur. It's very hard to find these ones 3-speed now. This is for a road bike, because 3-speed are really out, but you need a derailleur with a very small amount of teeth in the bottom rung. This is a magnetic disc I'm talking about. It has to go in the derailleur, so you really need a very small circle diameter for it to even fit. Probably it's not going to fit most touring derailleurs because they're far too big. They'll be up here. Anyway, after all that, it still rubs, so I'm hoping that the spacer will take it out a bit more. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, I don't know what I'm doing, but I've got this tool thing to do that. Apparently some people just use pliers for this little thing. This is just a small part, you know. I can't get that out, actually. Cut. I done the wrong one first. It was 50-50 and I picked the wrong one. This one first. I'll take that right out. I must have done this too tight, but I can do it with a screwdriver. This is the first time I've had to use a screwdriver. Must have done it too tight. I just had to unclick there, so yeah, I must have done it. It's just an extra thing they do to, I think, to keep it in place. I don't know. You tell me. Hollowtech2 is 2-piece. It just slides off really now. I should have practiced this. Cut! I forgot this has 2 bolts. Let's get one down there. There's a little thing here, it's a guide thing. This is going to tell me my spacer if I've matched that up right, basically, because it makes sure everything's matched up. Right. Then this side should just fall off, really. You might need something to slide that out. I'm lucky here, it's just gone straight out. And there we go, Hollowtech2. This is the magnetic disc that Yose Power recommended. I think my circle diameter here is 74mm, so I had to use the adapter, but I don't even need to screw it on or anything, it just seems to hold. But you can see here that this is rubbing, so anything's rubbing in a bike, it's not a good situation, you know. The two chances you've got with this in sizes is 64mm, which is even smaller than this diameter, and then you just put this on. But for mine it was 74mm, and this is a road bike 3, which was very hard to get. I had to order it from Germany, and I had to put the special adapter on, but I didn't need to bolt it on or anything. Then I put that on. This is the one that Yose Power suggested. It's made by Kingmeter, and it's half disc 64, so 2 half discs. 64 stands for 64mm. And this came with it, and it's the adapter for 74mm. So that's what I had to use. You can see it's rubbing around about here. Not good. So I'm putting a spacer in here. I pray that this fits. I think it's 68mm. As you can see, I've badly damaged it because I was using a cassette thing because to me it fit, but it must be slightly out. I don't know. So I got this unofficial one that's meant for bottom brackets. So that's for a cassette chain at the back, cassette ring. And this is meant to be for a Shimano Hollowtech2 Bottom Bracket. I mean, if there is a difference, it's very, very slight. I don't know. I badly damaged it with the cassette ring thing, so don't use one of these cassette ring things. Use one intended for Hollowtech2 Bottom Brackets, I hope. On Hollowtech, it will tell you which way to turn. So to tighten it, you go that way. And you do that on both sides if you've got the bike upside down to tighten. So to unloosen, I'm going that way on both sides. And they do that because when you're pedalling, they don't want it loosening, I think. Alright, I've got my Shimano tool. Let's go. So that way, down. Oh, you get the soft mallet out. Don't judge me. I think I've put this on too tight. There we go. Pray it's not damaged. I can't tell really because it was already damaged. You should take a note of all these things, you know, in case you need to change them. If only it was always this easy. There we go. If you've got a Shimano Hollowtech2 Bottom Bracket, it's worth looking at the detail on it and writing it all down in case you ever need to replace it or tighten it or whatever, or loosen it. Definitely worth writing all that down. I think this is the model number for this, PBRS 500. And since I've got the bike upside down, to loosen it I'll go that way, anti-clockwise, and to tighten it I'll go clockwise. And that's the same for both, they both go the same way. So to loosen I'll go anti-clockwise, and on that one I'll go that way. When I'm upside down, and then because I'm upside down, to tighten it I'll go the way it told me, but it's that way. And that's in both sides. Alright, it's parade time. I'm hoping this fits. I think it's 68mm this. I think this one's aluminium. You can get steel ones. These ones were about £2 on AliExpress, but about £1.99 delivery. But I saw another page on AliExpress. It was about 99 pence for two, and because they were part of AliExpress Choice, if I spent £8, I would get free shipping on that. And that's before tax though, so you need to add, I had to add 20% VAT. But yeah, that looks as if it fits totally. It's 2.5mm wide. Actually, this isn't my drive chain side, my drive chain's the other side. So, I'll need, I don't know whether to put this on this side or not. I just asked Google Gemini and they said it's okay just to do one spacer. Well, this one's loose. I wonder if it was loose before, or you can see all the damage I've done to that using the cassette thing. Hopefully this one, because it's meant for the bottom bracket, won't do that. Shouldn't affect their performance, but somebody will not be able to tighten it or loosen it probably. There's my sensor. And there's all that info. Again, write it down because it's rubbing off. Anytime you get such info from a big part, treasure it with all your heart. Well, Google Gemini said you can put a spacer on one side. They don't normally put them on road bikes, but in here, because it might interfere with the chain line or something. Maybe the chain line's closer on a road bike, but I need to here. So how am I going to do this? I think I'm wanting the sensor further out, isn't I? No, wait a minute, I need to think. No, I'm pretty sure I want the sensor kept in. So I've got the spacer on, and now I tighten that way. It's all going swimmingly. It's not in the thread right. I mean, normally I would put greasing on it in here or whatever you're meant to, but I don't know what you're. So this is for the right side. I've got the spacer in. I'm hoping this gives me a gap between the pedal assist sensor that I've hammered into place to get it away, and I hope this doesn't affect my chain line. I'll not put a spacer on the other side for now. I'll see how I get on. Sadly, I'll need to put the whole thing almost completely together to see. I don't think I'll tighten these up fully. Just maybe I should. Yeah, you tighten them clockwise. That one that way too. So this is just a try out, so I'm not too bothered. I've got my thing back on, my sensor thing. Yeah, maybe that's rubbing with that. So maybe I need a spacer on both sides of this to get that away from that. Yeah, I'll need to have a think about this. Actually, I've got it away. I've already got it away, so I'm turning it, and this is perfect. If everything matches up, it's worked good for me. Yeah, the 2.5mm is taking it away from this, the metal bit, so that they're not rubbing, I do believe. Oh, I'm so happy. This has been like 9 months now. This is big worry number 2, that this isn't going out far enough now. There's a groove here, so you don't need to worry about not fitting this right. I think it's impossible not to fit it right. Of course, your pedals should be 180 degrees opposite, you know. So it definitely fits, but I'm just hoping that it's coming out far enough. So this next, with this tool, I think this is the right way. Maybe this will give me a clue. It definitely feels further out, and that's because it is, you know. I'm not even sure it's catching the thread. Oh no. I got it. Got it. This isn't meant to be too tight anyway, that one. I think in other videos people were saying that this might be the thing that's out of sync line, but I don't see how really. It looks to me as if it'll fit even if it's wrong, but we'll see. Alright, time for bolt number 1. I'll check all this afterwards, you know, I'm just doing this for the video. I'll not tighten it up fully. Everything seems okay so far. Bolt number 2. See, because there's a gap here, and that sort of tightens it onto the thing. It's just sort of compression really. Tighten, tighten, tighten. Not too, well, quite a lot, but not too much. I think it says the torque on it, doesn't it? Yeah. 12 to 14 nanometers. You're right to sort of go between one and the other. Tighten that, tighten that. I find it to tighten pretty quickly anyway. So, I'm good for that just now. I'll check after. So after 9 months, I think I've fixed it. This was rubbing against the metal. It's gone. Like I say though, if you've got Hollowtech2, I would recommend changing to a square taper because the whole market's built for square taper and they've got a gap there so they can put the pedal assist sensor on this side. It's because of the pedal assist sensor that's the problem. I mean, if you could put a clip on that side, but you've got this problem as well. You need to have a ring that's a circle diameter of 64 millimeters or 74 millimeters, which is very small. And in a road bike, it's probably mean a triple ring, but you might not even get a triple ring for a road bike now for Hollowtech2. So if you've got Hollowtech2, what I would say is either change to a square taper bottom bracket, which you can as long as you've got the same sizes, or buy another bike or use another bike that's got a square taper bottom bracket, because it's literally with them it's just put the thing on and go really almost, whereas with this it's been a total nightmare. Because if you buy a square taper you'll need to buy a new crank set. In my case I went for this so that would fit that small thing. This is obsolete, this triple ring really, so it was a nightmare to find. It was pretty expensive. I've bought things that don't fit and stuff, and as you can see, for me finally, spacers, one spacer for Hollowtech2 was the answer. But yeah, I wouldn't go through that again. I would either buy a square taper bottom bracket and crankset, or just a new bike, you know, Decathlon's like 250 quid for a decent bike, as long as it's not Hollowtech2. The only problem I can see though is that Shimano are doing away with a lot of their bottom range families of gear, and they're replacing it with Qs. But the thing is, Qs, so far from what I've seen, they all use Hollowtech2. So this problem is going to come up again for most people, you know, who buy a Shimano Qs crankset and want to. So I'm sure that the industry will come up with some better solution than this. But for the moment, if you're struggling, well, it can be done. I think people have said they've got other ways. I think with this, I can't see how you can get past that without having a 64 or 74 millimeter crankset ring. So I can't see a way past that. But the sensor, if you could get a clip-on one that works. I bought a clip-on one, but it didn't work with this electronically. So I had to go back and use the one Yose Power recommended. I've hammered that away, so I've maybe damaged it a bit. But at the moment, I've got this going. But who knows what will happen when I'm outside, you know, will it thing me? But thanks to the guy who commented, you know, if it wasn't for him, I would have still been stuck. Yeah, I just checked. I think these are 68 millimeters. It'll fit SRAM, Shimano. I'm guessing not every bottom bracket. Maybe they all use the same width for a certain road bikes or something. Maybe this is a road bike one, but this is aluminium, this one. I've seen steel ones. It was only about £4 for two, but on AliExpress there was somebody selling two for 99 pence, I think, plus £2 shipping. But if you spent £8, that would remove that shipping. You would get free shipping, but you need to add 20% VAT, so £1.20 for two. But don't quote me on that, you know. This is eBay. These are aluminium, so I guess they're rust proof and that, you know. But I can't believe that this has saved me. Listen to that. Silence. Well, almost. Nothing's rubbing. I can't see anything that might be wrong there, you know. I can see this sort of in there, but it's like it's empty, so should be alright. Listen to that. Almost nothing. The sound of silence. I've tightened the brackets up, and then there's how much is coming out. About 1.8 centimetres I would make it. There's my PAS receiver there, which I had to hammer away from the disc to get it to fit. I don't know if I would have had to hammer it. I haven't worked it. Maybe I wouldn't, you know, which would obviously be better. But there's nothing rubbing. I just fit the chain on. This is a double derailleur, so I mean that's going to be off anyway. I'll see if I can mess about with it. I'll need to get a 3 triple derailleur, so that's more cost, and triple shifters. But I'm just grateful to just get one gear at the front going, just so. And I can't hear any rubbing, so that's all I'm bothered about at the moment. I can't believe it, guys. I think the chain lines, how this is in line with your gearing, you know. So with me putting a spacer in, it maybe moved it out further out. Well, anyway, you know what I mean, don't you? Well, anyway, since I got this e-bike kit, it's not went 1 centimetre on the ground. So here it is in the air again, and it, as always, usually, in the air. Now it's working perfectly, the drive chain. Not the front wheel, because that rubs because of the design of the fork. But I had this rubbing problem in the drivetrain as well, and I do believe I've got rid of that, but I've maybe given myself other problems, but we're nearly there, guys. We're nearly there. We're e-biking in the air. We're e-biking in the air. La la. YouTube commenter, thank you. This is because of you. This is for you. The sound of almost silence. Well, no rubbing.